That was our year. Rudy Gay claims Grizzlies could have beaten LeBron's Heat if not for one move. Former NBA forward Rudy Gay recently made a bold claim about the 2012-13 season, arguing that his Memphis Grizzlies squad could have beaten LeBron James and the Miami Heat at their peak. At the time, the Heat were in the middle of their legendary Heatless run, chasing back-to-back titles and coming off a dominant championship victory against the Oklahoma City Thunder. With LeBron, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh leading the charge, Miami looked untouchable. But Gay believes the Grizzlies were the team that had the right formula to take them down, if only Memphis hadn't made a fateful decision. Memphis, overlooked contender. The 2012-13 season was all about the Thunder in the West. Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden had already proven themselves as an exciting young core, and many expected them to dominate for years to come. But while the spotlight was on Oklahoma City, Memphis quietly built one of the most underrated rosters in the league. The Grizzlies finished the season with 56 wins, earning the 5th seed in the Western Conference. Powered by grit, defense, and a bruising frontcourt featuring Marc Gasol and Zach Randolph, the Grizzlies were far from flashy. They weren't the high-flying, fast-paced team that captured headlines. Instead, they played a grinded-out style that wore opponents down. That approach carried them all the way to the Western Conference Finals, where they ultimately fell short. Their playoff run ended in disappointment, as the San Antonio Spurs swept them in 4 games. Yet Rudy Gay, who had been traded mid-season, insists that the story would have been much different had he still been part of the squad. The trade that changed everything. During the 2012-13 regular season, Memphis front office made the controversial decision to trade Gay to the Toronto Raptors. At the time of the trade, Gay was the Grizzlies' leading scorer, averaging 17.2 points per game while providing length, athleticism, and shot-making on the wing. Losing him meant Memphis leaned even harder into their defense-first identity, but it also left them without a reliable perimeter scorer who could create shots in crucial moments. Looking back, Gay is convinced that the Grizzlies had all the tools to not only compete but also to take down the Miami Heat dynasty, if only he had remained in Memphis. That was our year, Gay said on the Out the Mud podcast, hosted by former teammates Zach Randolph and Tony Allen. For him, the missing piece wasn't talent or chemistry, but his presence as the offensive closer the Grizzlies desperately lacked. Why Rudy Gay loved battling LeBron. Before making his bold claim about the Heat, Gay also reflected on his personal battles with LeBron James throughout his career. He admitted that he always went at LeBron with extra energy, treating those matchups as measuring sticks for himself. The numbers, however, show that James usually had the edge. According to landofbasketball.com, the two faced off 34 times in their careers. LeBron dominated those meetings, holding a 23-11 record over Gay. Statistically, James put up 27.5 points, 7.5 rebounds, and 8.8 assists per game in those matchups. Gay, while productive, averaged 15.9 points, 5.8 rebounds, and 2 assists. Despite the one-sided record, Gay does have a highlight he'll never forget. In a 2010 game, he drained a game-winning shot over James, proving that even against one of the greatest players of all time, he could rise to the moment. The reality of, what if? While Gay's confidence is admirable, history tells a different story. The Miami Heat were a powerhouse that season, rolling to a 66-16 record and eventually winning the NBA championship over the Spurs. With LeBron playing at the peak of his powers, few teams realistically stood a chance against Miami. Still, it's easy to see why Gay feels that Memphis was close. The Grizzlies had size, toughness, and defensive discipline, qualities that have historically bothered LeBron-led teams. With a shot creator like Gay still in the mix, perhaps Memphis grindhouse style could have given Miami problems. Ultimately, the claim remains one of basketball's great what-ifs. Rudy Gay may truly believe that was our year, but the Heatless had destiny and LeBron James on their side.